Hey everybody, welcome back to the Great Outdoors, Cherryville, North Carolina. We've got Anglers Channel Pro Staffer Rob Digh joining us on this Friday, the 8th of January. And Robbie, we've talked to several people today about different products that they think are going to be hot this year. The results down at Okeechobee at the EverStart Series this week. But, you know, one consistent pattern that we haven't talked about is the pattern of cold weather that we've had since really the end of November. After Thanksgiving, it's just been cold for about 6 straight weeks, and we're looking at a winter storm this weekend. With all this consistent cold weather, lake temperatures getting lower and lower, staying that way, you don't read a lot of reports about people in the southeast outside of Florida fishing a whole lot. What does that do for the setting up the springtime if it stays cold? Does that mean that the first warm front, things are going to happen quickly and you got to be ready to go? How do you prepare as a tournament angler for this kind of a weather pattern?
Well, John, right now it really hurts. You know, a lot of guys are not able to get out on the lake, and it is very cold, and it gets kind of miserable out there, especially if we get a bluebird day and it's, you know, 25 or 30 degrees. The fish don't bite very well, but it is going to set up for a very well fishable spring, and there's going to be a lot of bait that's going to die off this year, and the fish are going to be a little bit easier to catch when that happens in the spring. And we get a couple warm days in the spring, these fish are going to crash the bank, and it's going to make everybody real happy.
Now, when they crash the bank, do they crash the bank quickly, or does it usually take a week or two for them to do it?
Well, John, if we get 3 or 4 warm days, like say in the 60, 70 degree range, it's going to heat this water temperature up real quick, and it's going to make these fish feel real good, and it's going to make the bait feel good too. But they're going to progressively ease up to the bank. But if we would happen to get, say, a stretch of 7, 8 day warm weather, springtime is going to come early around here.
Okay, well that's good to know. You know, we talked to Guy Aker and David earlier about some baits, and you know, even though we've got technology at an all-time high in the fishing industry, it's still a lot of the same old, just reinvented a little bit that's working for guys. Crankbaits, jigs. I mean, it seems like the jig bite right now, when you look back over the last 18, 24 months, there are more guys throwing jigs right now than maybe ever before.
Yeah, there is, and a lot of fishing is how you do it, how your presentation is, and where you're doing it at. It's not just the bait, and I'm sure a lot of guys have figured that out. But you know, you can take a jig out here and throw it all day long and not get a bite. You got to throw it in the right spot. But there is a lot of new innovations out that are actually old innovations, and they just changed the colors a little bit and improved them a little bit. It's still just fishing, you know, but the crankbait is probably one of your #1 baits right now, and a lot of the fishermen are throwing little bitty grubs, road runners, stuff like this to imitate little fishies, anything to imitate a shad, because the fish are really not on structure right now. They're feeding up on bait.
All right, now let's talk about your schedule in 2011. What are you fishing?
I'm just going to fish around the house. I'm going to fish the BFLs and the BASS weekends, and I might haul off and fish a couple of the opens. FLW, might go to Champlain, but I'm going to play it conservative this year with the economy, and maybe get back out there next year. I'm going to miss it, but gotta do you know, what I can afford this year, and that's what I'm going to do.
Well, I tell you what, we look forward to tracking you. It's always fun working with you, and you know, before you know it, tournament season's going to be here. I mean, Ever starts this weekend. That's kind of the kickoff of the season down in Okeechobee, and but before you know it, we'll have a lot of activity throughout the southeast. Appreciate everything you do for us. Yep. Don't forget to catch Robbie's show on Channel 18 on Time Warner. It's on Monday nights at 7 o'clock, and it's called The Outdoor Rush.
Yep. Appreciate y'all watching. It's every Monday night. It'll be on until the first week of March, and we'll be back on in September, starting Labor Day 2011.
All right, and Robbie will be reporting with us for throughout the year. Folks, have a great weekend. We got a winter storm warning coming throughout the south this weekend, so I don't think too many of us are going to be on the water. But whatever you do, be safe, and we'll talk to you next week.